Joe, man, it is Thursday night. It is the SEC Powers Hour. We are back on a different night. I appreciate everybody who chooses to sit in here with us tonight. Are you happy you're here on a Friday night? Because you're usually not.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what's going on because it's Friday and I'm not in a press box somewhere.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Unfortunately, though, and not only am I not in a press box here on a Friday night, which is weird for me, but Thursday night, I didn't get to sit in a press. I was standing in the rain all last night, Randy, in Macon, Georgia. That's not what I do anymore.
It's not what I want to do. That's not what I signed up for.
No. It's not what I signed up for. Tell them, Carol, it's not where I belong in the rain. I'm sugar, baby. I'll melt.
Well, before we jump into this thing, we got a little house cleaning we need to do. Joe, I haven't updated the good people in a couple of weeks about the season standings because this is why we're all here. This is why we're all here. And that big trophy right back there, that's why we're here, so I got to give the people what they need. So I can update everybody that Joe actually won the picks for week 3, but then he went out and did essentially a 50 burger last week. And,
pooped the bed.
Yeah.
Won the week and then pooped the bed.
Went like 500. So
like a bunch of goats.
Yeah, that's right. So the season standings as they are right now through 4 weeks of the season, Joe, 52-19. That's respectable.
Yeah.
We'd be making money, if we actually were betting these things. So that's good. And then Randy, 59-8.
Oh, come on.
So basic Stevens County math tells me that that's a 7-game lead through 4 weeks into the season here. So, I mean,
tell you what,
you can make it out whatever you want to, but that's,
tell you what we're going to have to do, Randy. We're going to have to do.
Okay.
I'm going to have somebody give me a coach 'em up segment here on my picks.
Somebody going to have to help you out a little bit.
Well, your coach 'em up segment. I'll have to have a guest coach 'em up segment. Somebody going to coach me up on my picks. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe I should just look at him before I get on the show. Maybe I should do that.
Well, we do like to fly. We kind of pride ourselves on the fact that we fly by the seat of our pants a little bit.
I mean, I take great pride in not knowing exactly any of the ball games that we're going to pick. Great pride in that.
Well, I got to say, tonight we're already, you don't even know what's happening behind the scenes over here. We're already flying by the seat of our pants. So I can tell you that. But just like always, we're going to pick all the games and all that kind of good stuff, Joe. But before we do that, like we always do, we have to jump in here and check out what's going on in SEC news this week across the league. Now, because we are a full-service media platform full of top-tier elite media operators, we threw the schedule to the wind and said, we're going to jump on live on Monday because we had news about the annual opponents. Now, if you want to hear all our thoughts about all that stuff, go back and watch the full video we did over there. But we need to touch on it tonight. Joe, anything, now that you've had a couple of days to just sort of think about it, anything that's really sort of stepped up for you and made you be like, yeah, I like it, I don't like it, whatever?
No, again, we reviewed them and, we've had our conversations around it. And really the only thing that I talked about before was I really would like to see that Missouri-Kentucky game. I would like to see it more often than we will because I think it'd just be a fun rivalry. That's the only thing. Randy. And I'm cherry picking at that. But everything else to me seems very, very straightforward. And yes, I think if I just need to send Jeremy my picks, Jeremy Nix in the chat, I'm gonna have to start running my picks by Jeremy. I think.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Or
maybe Tim or any of those guys over there, but
they'll keep you on the beam. I have no doubt about that. Now, I think we don't have it up here tonight, and that's not what tonight's show is. But as I looked at Georgia's schedule over the next 4 years, you can see Georgia. We just went to Tuscaloosa. Alabama's coming to Georgia tomorrow, and then next year we have to turn around and go right back to Tuscaloosa. Then we don't get the return trip for a season. Because, you skip a year. So it's just little things like that. If I look at Georgia's schedule over the next 4 seasons where it's kind of like there's just little bitty jabs, just against Georgia to kind of make it more difficult than it could be. But as I said the other night, on the whole, I'm just excited for the games, right? I just think we're going to get a whole lot of really good games more often than not. I think parity to an even greater level is coming to the league. And I think that this is the kind of thing that really, if you're an SEC person, you're happy about this, right? I haven't seen anybody just want to set it all on fire. I think most people seem to think that for the most part, this is a pretty good thing moving forward.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say about that, I already said, and I think the point was made pretty well, and that is the fact you're going to hear people, I think, belly aching about Georgia having a soft, scale, a soft run at it here, and they're going to want to call foul on that just because Georgia's so damn dominating right now. But we'll just see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows what the future holds? Like, we're sitting here right now, and we're going to be talking about what's going to happen in these games this weekend. Man, we don't know. But, it is what it is. Speaking about these things, the chat coming through like they always do.
Yeah.
Our guy Antoine jumping in here saying he's still a little shocked about South Carolina. But Antoine, and I know you watch the shows. You might not catch them live, but I know you go back and watch them. I had said Kentucky, that I thought Kentucky would be that third. And Joe had said South Carolina would be the third.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted South Carolina. Like, I think that's the more, like, deep down, I think that's the one that brings out the most angst in me between the options. But I think South Carolina is super happy about it, because they get to come play Georgia every year, and that's a big deal to them. And I don't know, though. This year, you could argue they are underachieving. So when they reevaluate this thing in 4 seasons, we just don't know where it's going to go from here, because it's going to keep evolving. And I think that's a good thing, that look in, to make sure it's all good. So there you go. That was the big news of the week. But, Joe, there's more news. Florida's on a bye week this week. But you can see it if you're looking here on the screen. They have lost 3 consecutive games. And it's not pretty, like they lost to Southern Florida because they just were incompetent,
basically.
Just couldn't throw the ball, couldn't line up. They go to LSU. I was a believer that they would fight hard and make it a game, and Lagway throws 5 interceptions. And then they play their probably most hated rival in Miami, and it was the most impotent, like, example of offense that I think I've seen this season from Florida. And that's saying a lot, because at least on the road at LSU, they put 10 points on the board, right? But what I saw against Miami was so weak sauce, man. It just didn't. I've got more numbers to throw at you here. Look, it gets worse. Like, this is the 4th, you can read it, 4th worst record by a head coach, 20-22 in Florida history.
Randy, I'm right there with Jimbo Sliced Bread here in the chat. I'm right there with you, brother. I can't figure out. I've said it week after week. I don't think he would get to the end of the week. Don't know how he's still the coach. Don't know why I don't understand.
I don't either. I know they were like, we don't want to turn everything over and blow it up, because again, as soon as they fire him, whenever that happens, whether it's at the end of whatever, Lagway's leaving, Florida's, the recruiting class is shot. Like, that just is what it is, because I don't know who you go get if you're Florida to replace him. And I'm not saying that's because he's so great. I'm just saying that there are some young and up and comers across the country that you might go try to get, but you're not going to go get whoever you think. I know they think that Lane Kiffin is that guy. I think Lane Kiffin is going to stay at Mississippi. That's what I personally think. But
I don't know why he would go anywhere else. I really don't.
It's so toxic at Florida, though. That's the other thing. Like, why would you choose to go into that unless you are a young guy trying to make your name, right? I just, what's happening at Florida is ugly. It's just real ugly, and I don't know that it's going to get any better. So I don't want to beat that dead horse, but I think you got to talk about it. Like, again, how do you have a job? Like, how is that the thing? So, we'll all be monitoring it. We'll see how it goes. Last week in Oklahoma, they decided that there ain't no love in Oklahoma. Isn't that the way the song goes? There ain't no love in Oklahoma. Team record 10 sacks, Joe, against Jackson Arnold and Auburn.
They went all Ricky Bobby, didn't know what to do with their hands. They were just like
10.
I
don't know if that says more about Auburn or if Oklahoma's defense is that good. Like, I know Oklahoma's defense is better.
No,
but
that's just what it says about Auburn. Yeah.
Oh my, I felt bad once they got up around 7-8. I was like,
I feel bad for the quarterback.
I do, because and then they just kept putting him on the ground. So Auburn, we'll see what happens with Auburn, because they got a tricky game this week that they got to get themselves, up and ready to go for.
They did go sweet, full on Waterboy mode.
Yep. I want to welcome in. I see Young Citrus is in here. That's our resident LSU fan, Joe, checking us out. He said he'd check us out tonight to see what was up. So welcome in, Young Citrus. 225's in here. You've already shouted out everybody else, I think. Of course, my man Antoine's in there. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Please don't be shy. Drop a comment. That makes the show that much more fun. But Joe, 10 sacks is a headline that's pretty awesome. Like, I'm a defensive guy, loving that headline. That wasn't even the biggest news that happened that day. No. My guy, John Mateer, broke his hand in the first quarter, then played the rest of the game and beat Auburn on the strength of a lot of help from his defense there. And now I don't like the Heisman anymore. But this was a guy that was on pace to make his way into that discussion, especially if Oklahoma keeps winning. Now he's got a broken hand, already had surgery, successful, so good for him. Glad to hear it. But the return on this injury is like 3 to 4 weeks. They have Kent State, then they have a bye week, or they have a bye week and then they have Kent State, however it goes, and then they play Texas. So the Texas people were immediately out there like, he's running from Texas because he, broke his hand. I'm like, stop being ridiculous. He came to Oklahoma to play Texas and play in these kind of games. So it's great that his surgery went well and all that. But how do you think this shakes as we move through the next 2 or 3 weeks here? Because they have a quarterback that played games for them last year as a freshman. He beat Auburn in their SEC debut. He's a running kind of quarterback, not very much for throwing the football. I don't know. What do you think that's going to do to Oklahoma?
Well, considering their schedule is Kent State coming up on October 4th, then you got Texas on the 11th, and then South Carolina, then Ole Miss. If he can get back in those 3 weeks there, Kent State, you got to say they get the win over the Kent State, whoever they are. I'm not sure what their mascot is.
Flashes, baby. The Flashes.
All right, and then you got a Texas game, and I think they can beat Texas without him. I mean, I do. And then you've got South Carolina there. So I don't think they'll be in terrible shape, as far as the rest of the season goes, considering after that run, you've got Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, and then Mizzou. I think that's a much harder back end of that schedule than the front end. And that's, again, considering Texas is in the mix, doesn't matter a whole lot to me, because I just don't think they're a mediocre team at best this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. They're still proving it. They're about to get into league play here and make some stuff happen. But I hope he comes back quick. But you just got to wonder, because it's his right hand. So that doesn't, he carries the ball, he throws the ball.
Is it a break in the hand? Is that what it is? Is a break in the hand?
That's all. Yeah, that's all I know. Is that it was I forget the medical phraseology for it, but yeah, it's a broken hand, not a finger, not a thumb. Well, it was actually his thumb, so I do know it was more into his thumb area, which makes it really hard because you can't squeeze the ball, you can't protect it, So I don't know. I hope he gets back. for Texas, but I think it's unlikely. But
I don't
we'll
see. I really don't see any reason for him to try to get back for Texas again. I think that one game's not going to matter. The back end of that schedule is more important to be right for. So I wouldn't say rush it and let Texas continue to blow hard like they do every time, everything else that happens.
Oh, we love the Longhorns over here, don't we? We love the Longhorns. All right, Joe, that was our run around the SEC news here on the show. Now we can move right into the AP. We know the AP, doesn't carry the weight it used to, but you can see on the screen here, SEC still very well represented. 10 teams out of the 16-team league are in the top 25, so you got to like that. Here's the rest of the poll, Joe. We know that Penn State actually starts their football season this weekend, so we'll get a little bit of something about them. We've seen Miami do what they do. They're all the way up to number 2. LSU, people are questioning LSU, Joe, because of the quarterback, the offense, all that kind of stuff. We thought that was going to be the good part of the team. So here we are. Georgia's hanging out at 5, and of course they got a big game, tomorrow. So anything jump off the page at you here about the AP? I mean, other than Vanderbilt, just conveniently just hanging out at 18, just whatever. What's up?
I mean, I love to see Vandy up there. Let's talk about LSU for a second. Of course, my disdain for number 21 and 22 there. I just can't even believe that. But LSU, people question LSU. I just said I'm questioning LSU, but I think we may be misreading that LSU offense. I think they could be closer to being that offense that everybody's expecting them to be. It's been a slow burn getting them to this point. Okay. But, I really hope, and I think we'll know here within the next week or so if that is a true statement or not. But everybody just needs to maybe push that pause button for just a second longer on that LSU offense. Nussmeier is going to do better. That offense is going to do better. So I hope I'm right about that, because I'd hate to see them be mediocre the rest of the season.
Did Chris call you? Did he be like, Joe, you got to say better things about LSU? Is that what happened? Did he get you on the phone?
I hadn't got to talk to Chris about that yet, but he's kind of a busy cat. You know what I mean?
He is. Yeah, he is.
I think that LSU is gonna turn it around. They've just been a slow burn.
All right. Well, I had them making it to Atlanta in the SEC game, and everybody wants to write them off, but our picks are coming later. I'm just saying, hey, stick around. You'll see what we got going on. Joe, as always, upsets happen in college football. This week, you've got a couple of SEC games that people think could be on the upset list, right? Ole Miss, LSU. We just sort of hinted at that one. You got a couple of games in the Big Ten there. And then, of course, the big one in Athens. 17th ranked Alabama. It's coming between the hedges to play the Georgia Bulldogs. So any of those jump off the page at you as the one that you're like, no, that one's definitely going to happen?
Obviously, I believe Oregon is going to beat Penn State. For the folks that watched our episode with Herb and Raj the other day, I made that quick pick.
Okay.
And I also made the other quick pick that I believe Iowa beats Indiana there. So, I mean, I'm just going to stick with what I've said already. I think those two absolutely go that way, and it could be considered upsets according to the
rankings. Yeah, there you go. Well, the one that's got my full attention is Alabama and Georgia, right? You can see it on the screen here. The numbers, anywhere you look, the numbers around this game are crazy. Out of the last 10, my Dogs have only won the game one time. Now, it was a big one, but that's the only one that they've won, Joe. And then, of course, everybody wants to tell you that Kirby's only won one game against Alabama. He's 1-6. But, Joe, something's got to give, because you look at this year's Alabama team, look at the last 5. Loss. They won big at LSU. Loss. And they don't seem to play the way everybody wants them to play, or the way we think about Alabama playing. I don't know, man. Which one do you think is going to give? No, save your pick, but this is obviously something's got to give this weekend.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. For those folks that enjoyed the time we spent with Herb and Raj, you kind of know where we feel like the game is going to be. I'm not going to talk about it on here because that will give away my pick. But I think that
who do you trust more right now, Joe? Who do you trust right now? Who do you trust? The Alabama team that you've seen this season and over the last little bit, a year and a half on the road under Kalen DeBoer, or do you trust a Kirby Smart led Georgia Bulldog team that has only beaten Alabama once in the last 10 tries. Who are you trusting?
Yeah. I don't trust Alabama. I mean, that's just obvious. And
Okay.
I don't trust them at all.
Okay.
And Herb, where you at? Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening? Don't trust him.
Well, Joe, Kirby doesn't agree with you. In fact,
I don't need to phone a friend either.
No. And the fact is, from the podium this week, and he's not wrong. He said that, Ty Simpson, probably the hottest quarterback in college football right now. And it's hard to argue that, because it's like you watch what he's done against ULM and against Wisconsin, and the ball just really hadn't hit the ground. He's had time to read it, and nobody ever doubted, I didn't at least, his physical ability to put the ball on a group of talented wide receivers. So Kirby does not agree with you. He thinks the Dogs have their hands full this week. But Joe, I have the answer. I have the solution. We can unmuddy this water tonight. You know how we're going to do it?
How are we going to do that?
I happen to know a guy who knows a little something about what's going on with Alabama football right now, Joe. My good buddy, Wyatt Fulton, who I was on his show earlier this week. In case you missed it, I've been all over Alabama's shows this week. And I was on with Wyatt. Thankfully, he was kind enough to ask me to come sit in on the Deep South College Football Show. You can find that over on 100.9, Tide 100.9, out of Tuscaloosa on your radio dial. And I know that if I'm going to listen to anybody tell me about what's going on with Alabama, it's going to be my good buddy Wyatt. You want to have him in here with us for a second?
Yeah, let's talk to old Wyatt, see what he's got going on here.
All right, Wyatt, let's see you, man. What's shaking over there? How did you like that as an introduction? If anybody knows, you know. How are you doing, man?
I really appreciate the kind words there. And when Georgia's got to come back to Tuscaloosa, hopefully all your listeners are listening to the Deep South College Football Show.
That's it. I promise you that I'm going to be telling them that's where they need to dial it in. Much like Joe. Joe has a digital station on the airwaves there. And much like him, I'll be like, hit them up on the website. You can listen straight through. You don't have to be in Tuscaloosa. You can just dial it up through the website and stream it.
Absolutely. And we're also on a podcast center as well with Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. So we talk a lot of SEC ball, a lot of Alabama and Georgia this week, and it's been a fun conversation.
Well, the first thing is I'm happy to see that you made it to Athens, apparently, without issue. I know that I was hearing reports that traffic, because of construction and just the mass of people that are coming to town, might have been an issue. I hope it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't awful. Atlanta traffic is not my favorite thing in the world here, but we made it through Atlanta all right, got through the traffic here in Athens, and so we're finally still for about 12 hours, and then tomorrow it's going to be hectic.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. I'm already trying to figure out what time I need to get to town. So, and I'm only a half hour away. So there you go. All right, Wyatt. Well, first off, man, thanks so much for making time to come on and sit in with us. I've got a couple things I wanted to ask you that we didn't really discuss the other day, at least not from your perspective. So as this game's getting ready to kick off tomorrow night, somewhere around this time, I just really want to know, is Ty Simpson, like Kirby Smart said, is he the biggest key to this game in your view?
I do think for Alabama, Ty Simpson is going to be one of the biggest contributing factors should Alabama, or if Alabama, I should say, wins this game here. It's not all on Ty Simpson. I wouldn't say he is the biggest key factor for this game, but it's going to be everything around Ty Simpson. It's going to be the offensive line. Caden Proctor has not played like the projected first-round pick that a lot of people expected him to be this season. You've had some rotation at right guard due to injuries to Jaden Roberts and Geno Vandermark kind of working in that spot. You've had Will Conformity and Michael Carroll rotate a lot at right tackle as well. It seems like the only consistent presence on Alabama's offensive line has been the center, Parker Brailsford, and he's been one of the better ones in the country, but you need 5 guys to be able to block for a guy like Ty Simpson, and Ty's been really, really good over the last 2 weeks. I even thought in the Florida State game he wasn't as bad as a lot of people made him out to be, but he's really taken it to another level the last couple of weeks.
I heard Kirby, just to follow up on that a little bit, on his coach's show, like the one kind of like Hey Coach for Alabama, the one where he goes out and sits with the fans and answers questions. He said when asked about Ty Simpson, what the biggest deal was to him, he didn't say his accuracy. He didn't say, how hot he's been. He said his athleticism. He's worried about, is he going to be where we're trying to get him, right? Or are they going to be able to use him in the run game, or is he going to hurt us, off schedule? And I thought that was kind of interesting because the narrative nationally anyway has just been about the pass game and how he delivers the football. Is Kirby on to something there?
I think so. He's not going to be the one that, we all remember the play from last season where Jam Miller cracks a Georgia defender and Jalen Milroe's down the sideline. Ty Simpson's not going to break a run like that. But Ty Simpson can get you the play. It can get you, it's 3rd and 3, nobody's open. He can dance a little bit and then find open space. He's a good athlete. He's not the runner that Jalen Milroe is, but he's not a statue in the pocket, kind of like Mac Jones was, right? He's somewhere in the middle of all of that. And so he's a very good athlete. I think he's more talented with his arm than his legs, obviously, but if you're not careful, Ty Simpson can hurt you a little bit on the ground. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to toss it over to my partner here, who also knows a little something about being a mobile quarterback back in the day. He used his legs a little bit. Joe, what do you got for Wyatt?
Well, first off, it's a pleasure to meet you. See you here on the show with us. It's always fun to meet other radio folks from around the great state of Alabama or wherever you happen to be hanging out in Athens today. But I'll even just say hello there. But I think Ty Simpson's going to be effective when he has to be on the mobility side of things. That's the way I always kind of position myself when I played ball, was just be effective when you got to be, right? Don't stand there and just get creamed, right? You got to be able to move. So if he can do that, that will be an advantage. I think Proctor's going to be a problem for you in Athens tomorrow. He's got to be able to handle that speed rush on the edge, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. So we'll see if that creates a problem for Ty. But I just got a couple of questions for you, and the one I'm going to ask about Ty is actually going to be a little bit less focused on his game, but more so on who he is. And early in conversation in this season, I think it was earlier this year, I have to forgive my status of the timeline when he had this conversation, but I was talking about his faith and, him focusing more on himself as a quarterback and concerned about how people were feeling about him as the Alabama quarterback than what he wanted to be, and that's letting people see him as a man of faith. And do you think his growth in that space has allowed him to be more calm, more competitive, and just a better player as he's gotten his mind right and less focused on people's opinion of him, if you will?
I definitely think so. A lot of people, you have your reason for doing things, right? And so for Ty Simpson, he told us, I think it was the week after the Florida State loss, or maybe it was ULM, I can't quite remember the exact date, that he doesn't really care about the outside noise. And I know all quarterbacks say that, but it affects people differently. But he doesn't really care about that. He more so cares about, hey, showing that he is a Christian and showing his faith out on the field there and everything that he does, not only on the field, but off the field as well. And so I think you're absolutely right that has allowed him to be even better than maybe what a lot of people expected. And it's allowed him to be just kind of loose, kind of free. DeBoer's had this mindset of play fast, play physical, but also have fun as well. That's something that they've talked about a lot in the building here. And so that's something that I think Ty Simpson has really embraced. And when you look at a guy like Ty Simpson, that's kind of the model that DeBoer wants. Somebody who is not listening to the outside noise, but is more so focused on their internal driving factor, what gets them going and what drives them to step out onto that football field. And Ty Simpson's done a really good job of embracing that.
Yeah, and I just love that because I remember a coach telling me when I was a young man playing at the quarterback position, he said, Joe, there's one thing you got to know, man, and that's you've got to be the calm in the storm, right? You got to be the one that has peace when everything else is crazy around you. So I just like that quote about Ty, so that's why I wanted to ask. The other question I'll have for you before Randy gets back into the analytics and the football side of this Georgia-Alabama game tomorrow, I'm going to ask you one that's about what happens next, okay? Does this game versus UGA create an inevitable hangover for you guys against Vandy next week? Because you got Vandy, Mizzou, and Tennessee. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, is this one of those things that's going to be just a stumbling block or kind of a wall for you guys? It's the biggest game everybody's talked about all season long, I think.
If you had asked me that question under Coach Saban, I would say no. Coach Saban did a really good job of not allowing those hangovers to happen. But after watching last year with Kalen DeBoer, and I saw y'all had mentioned the road games last year, it is a concerning point, right? I mean, Alabama last season, you beat Georgia in basically miraculous fashion in the fourth quarter there with Ryan Williams and Xavier Brown. You lay the egg against Vanderbilt. You come home and you're still laying the egg at home against South Carolina. You go to Tennessee, you really struggle there. And so I do think there is a potential for a hangover if something happens in Alabama's favor tomorrow. But I will also point out that it is a home game for Alabama. And a lot of these home games have been, outside of the South Carolina game, Alabama has looked very, very effective, very, very dominant at home. So is part of that what Lenore Sellers, Nick Harbor, Dylan Stewart brought to the table? Is part of that, hey, that was the hangover coming off of the high of the Georgia win, the low of the Vanderbilt loss, and then just South Carolina was an 11 a.m. kick. I do think there's problems that teams like Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, obviously, they present a lot of challenges that Alabama has struggled with in the past. They struggle to stop the run. So there's a spot where Missouri can hit them, and then they really struggle against mobile quarterbacks. We saw that with Diego Pavia last year. We saw that at points with Nico Iamaleava. Jackson Arnold ran all over Timbuktu on this defense last season. And so guys like Diego Pavia, Bo Pribula, Joey Aguilar is a little bit mobile, or is more on the mobile side than on the pocket passer side as well. And then obviously Lenore Sellers before the second bye week here. Those are all going to present unique challenges for Alabama. And I absolutely think that if the Crimson Tide win tomorrow, there is absolutely the potential for a hangover loss to Vanderbilt again this season.
Wow, that's pretty bold there, Wyatt. I mean, but I'm not going to argue with you, because to me, what we've seen under Kalen DeBoer, and you'll know what I'm about to tell you is true, I'm having flashbacks to like the Mark Richt days. And I love some Mark Richt, but the team, would ride the roller coaster. And that's kind of what it feels like, So, and that leads me right into my next question. I noticed you did not mention Gunnar Stockton among those mobile quarterbacks right there. So my question for you is, who has to have a big night defensively if Alabama's going to get this win tomorrow night?
You're looking at, I would say there's two guys that have to have a really strong performance here. It's going to be a guy like Quay Russaw off the edge, right? Alabama does a really good job of using Quay Russaw in multiple situations. He's more comfortable dropping into coverage if Mike Bobo does bring somebody into motion there and they force that edge rusher to drop. Well, Quay Russaw is a lot more comfortable with it than a guy like LT Overton is. So in that aspect, Quay's got to have a big game. But then if Quay is rushing the passer, look, this is a guy that everybody said, hey, he's a freakish athlete. And we've seen the flashes of that, but we haven't seen him consistently put it out onto the field. And so for Alabama, he's got to have a big game. And then obviously Gunnar Stockton is a mobile quarterback. I was not intentionally excluding him there. I was talking about the games after the Georgia game.
Right.
But you've got to keep Gunnar in that pocket, because Alabama, they do a really good job of getting pressures, but they're not doing a good job of turning them into sacks. I mean, they had no sacks on the season going into that Wisconsin game, and then they were finally able to tally 4 with Wisconsin having a backup center and a backup quarterback in that football game 2 weeks ago. So you've got to do a good job if you're Alabama of turning pressures into sacks, and you've got to keep Gunnar Stockton inside that pocket to allow that to happen, because when a mobile guy starts to get around and starts to get with LT Overton on the edge there, starts to put Tim Keenan in space, it's a problem for Alabama's defense. So I look at a guy like Justin Jefferson or Deontay Lawson, kind of depends on who Alabama decides to use, as that, hey, it's your job to corral Gunnar Stockton if he starts moving outside of this pocket. So defensively, it's Quay Russaw rushing the passer, creating that pressure. And then it's a guy like Deontay Lawson trying to minimize the damage that Gunnar Stockton can do with his legs.
Gotcha. I like that. That's good stuff. All right. So first off, again, thank you so much, Wyatt, for making time to come in here. I know you're busy. I know what it's like to be on the road and keep all your stuff and gear. So thanks again, man, for making it happen. I just have one final question. What is it that we are not asking that we should be asking about this game tomorrow night?
It's a really good question. It's actually a really good question here. I would say we're not talking about, and we just did in this previous segment, but the conversations I've had all week long are about Alabama's offensive line against Georgia's defense. It's about the corner receiver matchups on both sides of the football. It's Gunnar versus Ty, but it's not it hasn't been a ton of Alabama's defensive line versus Georgia's offensive line from the conversations we've had in Tuscaloosa throughout the week here. And so looking at that, it's, Ernest Green was listed as out yesterday on the availability report.
Right.
That means Georgia's. I apologize. I don't know who Georgia's putting in his place here.
And I can help you a little because Bo Hughley played the best against Tennessee. So it could be Bo. There's also rumblings that if Gaston, who appears ready to go, he could move out and play tackle, and then you get maybe a Dontrell Glover playing guard. So that could happen, but we just don't know until we see it.
So you're getting a little bit of inexperience on that Georgia right side of the offensive line, and that's the side where a guy like Quay Russaw is going to line up. That's where James Smith is probably going to be playing opposite side of Tim Keenan, because Tim Keenan is probably going to be lined up, if not on top of that center, he's going to be lined up, right in the A gap on that center. So the guards, they're going to be dealing with James Smith. The tackles, they're going to be dealing with LT Overton and Quay Russaw and a couple of other guys. Alabama rotates very, very heavily along the defensive front there, but those are the main four that Alabama puts out onto the field here. So it's the younger guys on Georgia's offensive line, or as inexperienced guys on Georgia's offensive line, dealing with a guy like Quay Russaw, who started, I think 11 games for Alabama last season, and the first two in two this season. It's inexperience versus experience when Georgia's on offense. And that's the question I've got. Now, I said this at Media Days. Kirby Smart has earned the right to get the benefit of the doubt. He's earned the right to not be doubted, even though there's questions. You can have questions, but he's earned the right to not be doubted in this aspect. And so that's one of the points that I'm looking at here for this football game.
That is good stuff. And just for those of us who love interior line play, that matchup between Bobo and Keenan, watch that because everything you just said, but from a Georgia perspective, Bobo has really been a good thing for Georgia this year in the middle of that offensive line. So that's going to be a fight. I don't know. Do you think Keenan's going to be on a pitch count of any kind tomorrow, since this is his first game back?
I think so. He had tightrope surgery the Wednesday before Alabama played Florida State, which I want to say was just under 30 days ago, like 28, 29 days ago. That's a very tight turnaround. And I believe you and I had talked about that when that injury kind of first happened there. And so that's a very quick turnaround for a tightrope surgery, especially on a guy like Tim Keenan's size. He's not in game shape. He has not played a single game this season. And so I'd expect Tim Keenan to probably be on a 65 to 70% pitch count. And Alabama, you may not see a ton of Tim Keenan early, but as you get into this fourth quarter, and if Alabama's got if this is a tight game between Alabama and Georgia, you'll see Tim Keenan start to make his way onto the field a lot in the fourth quarter. So for the Tide, it's keeping him ready to go. It's not letting him get gassed in the third quarter when you need a defensive stop to get the ball back to try a game-winning drive in the fourth.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you have it, friends. We went inside, outside, front to back on this thing. If you aren't ready to watch Georgia, Alabama now, I can't help you. We've done all we can do. Wyatt, thank you so much for helping us get this done tonight. Again, man, I appreciate you making this happen. And, we will see you down the line.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, gentlemen. And I'm fired up for tomorrow.
All right. Look for me. I'll be wandering around down there on the field.
Hey, wear your sunscreen, brother. Wear your sunscreen.
Early in the afternoon anyway. All right. Wyatt, thank you, man.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
All right, Joe, tell me, does it get better than that? I just got to know. Does it get any better than that?
That's good stuff right there. Sorry, I was entertained in the chat, by the way, and just good stuff going over there in the chat. Carol giving you all kinds of video hypes, by the way. She was mentioning that, encouraging others to do so. And
please,
Florida State's just coughing the game away. Apparently,
I look over, I see Virginia's winning. Virginia's up 7-0, Joe. That's why I wasn't going to have us pick this game, because I knew we were going to be doing some other stuff. But I remember the upset when Virginia beat Florida State several years ago. What a big deal that was. So I'm paying attention right here. All right, let's keep this thing moving, Joe. We got a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Let's look at what's happening nationally. So there's a few big games out here. Again, Penn State is starting their college football season tomorrow and the whiteout when they host Oregon. Now, obviously, we're going to make picks on all these games later. If there's one factor in this game, Joe, that's going to help you make your choice, What's it going to be?
Oh, it's easy, man. It's the fact that it's Penn State playing the game, period. I mean, that's all it's got to be. It's just, I mean, they're playing somebody. They're playing an actual opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough.
All right.
That's all. I mean, there's nothing special about it. It's pretty straightforward.
I'm interested. Oregon has beat around everybody so far. They're very much kind of like Penn State. Like they're really getting it, squared away tomorrow, for real. And so I'm really interested to see. Oregon seems like the finger snap pick, but I'm not so sure that's how I'm going to go. I'm not so sure I'm going to go with the Ducks. So we'll figure that out here in just a few. Another one
Enrique,
of the big games.
What you talking about, man? Enrique, my bad, brother. My bad. Enrique was hyping some videos. My fault, man.
Thank you, Enrique. I want to make sure you get the same thanks. Another one, Joe, that I think is kind of sneaky here on the national stage is a Washington team that's playing pretty well. And you've got Ohio State making that trip out there to the West Coast. Julian Sayin making his first road start, and it's a conference road start, and it's at Washington. We know about Loud here in the SEC. Washington knows something about Loud. Okay. So I think this is sneaky. I think that Ohio State is in for more of a fight than maybe a lot of people are thinking they are in for tomorrow.
Yeah, that could be a fun game there in Washington. I don't want to say much more about that at this point, but, I do like the purple and gold, man.
I'm telling you. All right, let's bring it back down south. Joe, your favorite team, Notre Dame, is coming in to play my favorite former Big 8 team in the Arkansas Razorbacks. This one's important because, by golly, how can you be a snake bit as Arkansas has been? Late game fumbles against Mississippi, ended that. Late game fumble against Memphis. Can't believe they didn't beat Memphis after the way that game went down. Pit Boss already under the heat, right? And now that's happened to him. I love the fact that Arkansas says it's all good. We're going to let him play it out against Notre Dame, see how they show up. But, man, Arkansas can't play any defense, bro. But here's the thing. Neither can flipping Notre Dame. They gave up like 30 to Purdue. So I'm just like, they might score 70 in this game. This one's going to be a whole lot of fun. Thoughts?
Oh, anytime you can reference Purdue when talking about, an opposing team, and you mentioned Purdue as being like, that's just funny to me. And Pit Boss he's been under all kinds of strain. He has been for years. And, I would love to see the guy just get right. I would love to see him just get right. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. I got some words.
Especially with the new schedule coming up, with all the new rivalry games they're going to have. Man, I want Soul Sam leading the Hogs.
I got some words.
Hit that damn jukebox. That's what I want to hear. I guess I want him to take a special second. Shout out our fella Jay Bake jumped over here. That's a hardcore Alabama fan. Said I'm going to come check out some SEC talk. So Jay Bake, appreciate you being here with us, man. I really do. I appreciate you taking a chance. All right, let's keep it rolling, Joe. Inside the conference, your boy Monaco is welcoming in the Auburn Tigers this weekend. So this one, if it don't get right for Auburn this week, then they might be about to jump in the toilet bowl. That might be what about to happen here, because it gets pretty ugly pretty fast for Auburn on their schedule the rest of the way. This one's a big deal for Auburn. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big deal for Auburn, but it's going to be a big deal that ends poorly for them. I mean, Auburn on the road, it is a big deal for them, but Texas A&M that's who I got to go with Monaco. And I haven't got to hear his pregame player of the week conversation because I didn't get to listen to it. I just dropped it in the old lineup there, but it is going to be a big deal.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be another good one tomorrow. So it'll be something going on early in the day, that part of that early slate there, some good games happening. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then the other one, Joe, this is my favorite segment of the week because it's the not game of the week. We maybe could have gone with Auburn, Texas A&M, but I think it's LSU Ole Miss, Joe. LSU Ole Miss. I think this is going to be a big one because we have a lot of questions about LSU, and I think that Ole Miss is fully embroiled. Do you like that word? Big word. In a
Embroiled.
quarterback controversy issue. I think that whether he's saying it or not, Mr. Trinidad, whatever his last name is the new guy at Ole Miss. I think Austin Simmons was turning the football over too much. I think Trinidad has a hot hand, and I think he's the new captain of the ship down there on the Grove. Tell me I'm wrong or give me your thoughts. This one, Joe, should be fun.
No, I think it'll be a real good ball game to watch there. You know, you heard me mention my conversation around LSU just a little bit ago, so I do have some thoughts coming up. But I think it's going to be an interesting ball game. The fact that it's in the afternoon there at Ole Miss is always fun for me. I like that afternoon kick. It's one of the only places I do enjoy an afternoon kick is at Ole Miss. Nice. So I think it'll be a good ball game. And, you know, we'll share some thoughts around that when we get to our picks. And yeah, Aaron Murray, Enrique's given us some words there. Aaron Murray is with you on the Ole Miss QB situation, but
I saw he dropped that in there.
Yeah, you know. I mean, hey, he's a gamer, man. That boy can play, and what you gonna do? You know, you go out there and you play the game. You get the right to play.
And I see right here, Jeremy's telling us all about it. He says his pick is Hail State over Tennessee this week. It didn't make the banner. I thought about doing it, Jeremy, seriously, because I'm with you. That's also another sneaky game here inside the conference that, Aguilar, he better be ready. He better show up because, yeah, Hail State, they got something for him. All right, Joe, let's move this thing on to the game of the week. Between the hedges, my dogs are welcoming in the Alabama Crimson Tide. It is the game of the week, Joe. We finally made it. Can you believe it? We have finally made it. When you have done as much talking about this game as I have done this week, I am like, I just want to watch the games and like, you know, man alive. I've looked at this thing from every kind of situation. We talked about Ty Simpson. We even asked Wyatt about it. Is he the guy hotter than a firecracker running around here hitting all those wide open wide receivers? Gunnar Stockton says, I was made to be the quarterback at the University of Georgia. And he came to Georgia to play in games like this. Joe, man, it is time for us to make our way through our picks. But before we do, feel free to take a second here and tell me about whatever it is that you might want me to know about Georgia and Alabama.
Well, you know, I don't know what's left to cover, but I will just say this. Here's the thing that I'm going to be watching for. You've heard me make comment about the fact that I think Gunnar Stockton is a better quarterback on the road for Georgia than he is at home. And that simply doesn't have anything to do with ability. It has to do with the way that kid thinks and the pressure that he puts on himself, right? So I think he plays easier on the road than he does at home. So with that in mind, the thing that I'll be watching for,
are you saying he's looking for? Are you saying he's looking for a fight, Joe? He's like me against the world.
Yeah. He's looking for a fight, and because he is so ramped up to that point, I think that it's going to be watching him breathe and watching him be able to control what is his nature, which is to go out there and just do everything, do so much, do too much, maybe. So that's why I said the other day that I think Delp will be a big advantage for him. That'll be a safety blanket for him. And I hope that he uses it, and I hope that he breathes through all the pressure that he's going to put on himself, because it's going to be a rowdy night in Athens tomorrow.
I am so looking forward to just experiencing everything that college football has to offer tomorrow. That, you know, I want to see the fans. I want to feel the noise. I want this game to be a classic. And these two teams deliver. They have a history of showing up and showing out. And I really expect that this game's going to be a whole lot of fun. And, you know, I think Georgia can win the game. I believe Alabama also can win this thing. I really do think that they're going to trade blows in the game. And, you know, hopefully what you're saying is true. Hopefully, because Alabama, Joe, I might be wrong about this particular point, but they might lead the nation in turnover margin. They've forced 6 turnovers. If they don't lead the nation, they lead the conference, and either way, it's better than what Georgia's been able to do so far. So if you're right and he's pressing too hard and turnovers are the name of the game, you give away possessions, that'll get you beat. So if Alabama really does have a chance to win this thing tomorrow, then that would be a large piece of it. Maybe Georgia does turn the ball over or something. So they need to play clean. They need to take care of the football. Seems like weather's not going to be a factor, which is great. And hopefully they'll just show up and let's have a great game. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, here, to be a little bit finer point of what I'm talking about here, you heard all the conversation, especially early on, about, does Gunner take the check down? Is he playing too safe, taking time to get through all that stuff that they said. And then we got to Tennessee and he took the top off and they were like, yeah, he can make the throw. Yeah, he can go get it. But then you've got him in this situation here, and it will be the matter of, hardwired versus making the clean, right decision, for what you see in front of you. What happens? And, that's what we're going to see tested for Gunner tomorrow. And I think it's going to be interesting to watch him make those decisions in real time on the field. It'll be something to see.
To me, this feels like the kind of game, I see it going the other way. I know you're concerned he might press too hard, but I see this as a game where he's going to feel himself a little bit. Because
and I'm not concerned. I really am leaning into more what you're saying there. He's going to feel himself, and I get that, and I cut you off because I think I know where you're going. But I just want to see. I'm going to be watching it, and I'm going to look at it through a positional lens. Like I kind of feel like I know what he's going to be doing down there, so it'll be interesting to watch. But the kid does have moxie, Carol. You're right about that, and I ain't taking any of that away from him. I don't think he'll clam up. I just wonder if he'll go too hard.
No, I don't think he will. That's what I was getting to. Is I don't think he will. I think he's going to play with a confidence that he's earned. And I said this last week. He knows how to play quarterback, and he knows how to play it in this system. And they are going to run it. Like, it's going to be in his hands. He's going to run it. He's going to throw it. And that's what I mean by, like, he's going to be out there bouncing around like I am the dude right now. And I expect that kind of energy from him tomorrow. So we'll see if I'm right. We'll see. Like I said, I expect them to use quarterback power. I expect them to do some things. They might even let somebody throw Gunner the football. I'm just saying.
Bruce Taylor, you're right. You're right in the chat, by the way, brother. I agree with you 100%.
It could very well be that they run that reverse sweep thing, and then you got somebody like Zach Branch pull up, throw it to Gunner down the sideline. Oh, touchdown, baby. I'm just saying, don't be, or Dylan Bell. Dylan Bell can throw the ball. I'm just telling you, just don't. If it happens, y'all tell everybody come on over here because Randy
heard
told
it here
so.
first.
That's right.
That's right.
Because I'm just saying. All right, Joe, let's get on to these game picks, brother.
Look at Jeremy in the chat. I love it.
Oh yeah. That joke almost got beat up in Florida for doing that.
Sure did, brother. Sure did.
That's a different story.
Hey, if it wasn't for my sister-in-law, I might have had some scars coming out of that one. I ain't lying.
Joe, nobody messes with Alice. Ain't nobody messing with Alice.
She's tougher than all of us put together. Everybody in the chat. I'm trying to tell you.
That's a fact. Woo. All right. So here we go. Let's get this thing done. Let's start out of conference. I'm not bouncing.
Look at KC with a super chat for you there, by the way.
Woo, KC. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for jumping in here with us tonight. Let's see. Let's get that on the screen here before we get going. $4.99. Thank you, KC. Run the ball. Stop the run. Get to the QB. Bro, I've been saying it all week, and I'm glad to hear you agree with me. That's what it's about. It's about finish on the quarterback. It's about punching somebody in the face. It's about you will not move me. That's what it comes down to. So I'm with you. That is something I can get behind right there.
And let me just throw this in there before we get onto the picks, because I don't know when I'll have another time to. You guys saw me look down. I had to get on my phone just a second ago. If y'all aren't familiar with the brand of Bone Collector, if you're a hunter, you probably are. Bone Collector. I had the the privilege of chatting with the owner of that brand recently, and he was on the phone with me there, texting and communicating with us.
Oh, so nice.
Just love that. Love him listening in and checking out what we're doing here on the SEC Powers Hour. But
that's right.
You got anything you wanted to pick up? If you're a hunter, if you enjoy outside life, go check it out, bonecollector.com, and use the code Manchester 15.
Can I just say, Joe, that name, that logo,
Bone Collector,
sweet,
the part of the brotherhood, man. Got to be there.
I'm just saying. All right, everybody.
All Alabama folks. Yeah, come on. Now.
That's right. Let's pick these games here. USC and Illinois. Joe, USC and Illinois, I know it's not in the SEC footprint, but we get around to wherever there's a good game, and this is one that I thought we ought to spend a second on and pick. Now, we don't have to break it down necessarily, but I figured we ought to go ahead and make our little selection here. Why can't I not find sorry, I'm looking for my games list. Yeah, well, and I cannot find it. I don't know what it is.
While you're searching for that, let me just go ahead and tease everybody, because I know you get supper at FSU giving the game away there and all that stuff on TV. But y'all stick around. I've got some scheduling news that could be breaking news coming up at the end of the so y'all toward the end of the show.
All right, Joe, you're gonna have to help me out. You're gonna have to help keep me on the beam here about which games we're picking. That's where I need my euchre sound drop.
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Christ, I can't find it. Hell.
All right, here we go. USC and Illinois. Here we go, Joe. Who you got?
I'm going to take the big fighting I there. Give me the I over USC. Yeah.
See, I took them last week and they embarrassed me. They played like garbage. Give me USC. Give me USC in the Big Ten for some reason to get that win on the road. I think Illinois.
Travel. They're going to the I. Give me the I.
I think Illinois might be, I don't know. If they rebound, then I'll eat my crow. But I'm just saying, give me USC. Give me USC. All right. Notre Dame and Arkansas. Now, I know if you watch the show, you know how this pick is going to go. But
Enrique,
Joe,
come on now.
But you know I love me some Arkansas, and I'm not a big fan of Notre Dame. I am going to say Taylor Green out-duels the Notre Dame quarterback, whose name escapes me at the moment. And they put a bunch of points on the board, both teams, but I think Arkansas catches a break this time. They get a bounce or something. Arkansas beats Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, Enrique in the chat there, Joe is picking Notre Dame. Listen, Enrique, as much sense as that would make, Randy gave me some solid advice here before the show started, because I'm about 7 down, right? 7 down. Is it 7 or 9? 7 down.
7
games.
Oh,
my gosh. I've got to start thinking about the games, but hell no, I'm not picking Notre Dame. Go Arkansas.
No, I got it right here. Oh, I found it. Everybody. All right. Yeah. Arkansas. All right. So we're both on Arkansas. Okay. Cool. Let's keep it rolling. Not picking Rutgers in that one. Nope. We're going to move it right on down here until we can get to and see.
My list.
I found my list. We're all good. Here we go. This one, because why not? Georgia Southern is taking on James Madison, and
JMU, baby.
The Eagles are on the road. Joe, who you got?
Well, look, JMU is no joke, okay? Them boys can play ball. They got a couple championships recently here in the Sun Belt Conference. They can play ball. And they've played for national titles as well recently. So they can do those things. But I'm going to have to say that James Madison gets the win at home against the Southern Eagles. And I hate to say that, but I will. I think JMU gets it done against my boys at Georgia Southern.
See, I was originally going to take James Madison too, but see, here's the thing. You just went ahead and took him. So I'm still going to take James Madison. Give me James Madison. What are they, the Monarchs? Is that what they are?
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah, so there you go. Give me James Madison as well. Okay, Joe, we talked about it a second ago. Julian Sayin and the Buckeyes on the road at Washington. It's going to be loud, at least early on. And Sayin, he's, making his first road start. This one's in conference. I think I am going to say Washington keeps it close, but there's too many athletes for Ohio State. Give me Ohio State a lot closer than maybe that 9-10 10 points there on the spread are telling you. I think it might even be, less than a touchdown, but I think they win.
Well, I think for those people that watch this show, remember that we had a game to choose Michigan was in where they had a starting quarterback on the road, first road game and all that
That's
stuff.
right.
And it did not go well for me.
That's
it
right.
Did not go well for me. I'm going to have to go with Ohio State.
All right, there you go. See, there's nothing wrong with that. I can get behind that as well. Let's see here. LSU and
good
Ole
question,
Miss.
Jay Bake, in the chat. I was just wondering the same thing. How many times has FSU given up already?
Oh gosh, I can't look over there. I can't tell you. So LSU and Ole Miss, Joe. I know. Chris Blair tells us LSU's pretty good. I got a sneaky feeling about the offense. I know which way I'm leaning, but you love those afternoon kicks at the Grove.
I do love those afternoon kicks at the Grove, but I mentioned it, kind of gave my tale of the tape here in the pregame. I think that the LSU offense has been a slow burn, and they're getting to the point where they're going to, kind of light fire. And I think that we might see that here against Ole Miss. So I'm going to go with them Bayou Bengals there in the Grove, even in the Grove at the 2:30 kick. Give me LSU.
Here's my thing about this game. I talked to you a second ago about Trinidad. I think he is going to be the guy moving forward for Ole Miss. And he's been great so far. But he hasn't seen a defense like LSU has. So there's that. And I do agree with you. I think that Nussmeier and that offense are going to sort of figure it out. I think they're going to play better. Give me LSU on the road, beating Ole Miss, and keeping my prediction of them making their way to Atlanta right on schedule, because I'm good with that one. All right, Auburn, Texas A&M. You know.
Auburn.
I don't have a drop for Texas A&M. I know your boy Monaco's out there.
I got one I should give you, man. I got him going. Gig 'em. Yeah.
Joe's going Texas A&M. Here's the thing. I just don't know that Auburn has anybody else other than Cam Coleman, who is a monster, by the way.
Oh, I love the chat.
I don't know that Auburn's going to have anything else for A&M here. I think Marcel Reed, Texas A&M, and that defense that, they got to be licking their chops. 10 sacks last week Auburn gives up. Texas A&M at home, all that noise. Give me the Aggies. Texas A&M wins this game. All right.
I'm loving the chat, by the way. Y'all, J-Bank, Carol, everybody's killing me in the chat over here. Loving it.
Nice.
Loving it.
I love John.
I love J-Bank. That's funny stuff right there. And Carol back with a photo finish. Ole Miss.
All right. Indiana and Iowa. I want Iowa to not be so boring. They're just so boring. But they're going to be playing at home. Do they have any shot against the Fighting Signettis, who put me in my place last week, taking care of what I thought was a more physical team in Illinois, and hammering them? Now, they were at home. Indiana was at home. This is a road game. But I think I learned my lesson. I think you got to give me Indiana.
Well, didn't their quarterback just rip his ACL up?
But wait.
I mean, not his ACL, his Achilles.
Indiana?
Yeah.
I did not know that. If that is
am I wrong in the chat? Y'all let me know. I think his quarterback just ripped up his Achilles in that game. So,
well, if that's a fact, then I might take Iowa, because
that's why. I mean, you heard me mention in the pregame. But I think Iowa gets the win.
I need somebody to confirm. That
one of
report.
One of the quarterback, and I believe it was, I think it was Indiana's quarterback. One of the two. I'm going to check and see. I'm going to give it an old Google. But
all right. Well, I'm going to go with Indiana with the right to make my adjustment if you give me new information. So I'm going with Indiana for right now. All right. UCLA, Northwestern. Who else we looking for here? Utah and West Virginia. Joe, the Mountaineers did me a solid. They beat.
Oh, Jeremy corrects me in the chat. Sorry. It was the Syracuse quarterback that had the ankle injury against Clemson. He tore his Achilles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So give me.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, y'all. I'll stay with Indiana. Are you sticking with Iowa?
Yes.
Okay. So I've got Indiana. Utah and West Virginia. Joe, the Mountaineers, they beat Pittsburgh in the backyard brawl. Made me real happy because, I talked about that a lot last week. Now they get Utah coming in there. And I got to tell you, Utah, I'm not real sure what's shaking with them, but they don't look like themselves. They look a little wobbly. Give me the Mountaineers again. Give me West Virginia.
Yeah, that sounds like a safe bet, especially at home in a 3:30 kick in the afternoon. Utah got to travel, have a little jet lag, I'm sure, going on there. Could be a smart pick, and I think I'm going to take Utah.
Okay, well there you go. You got to catch up somehow.
I just think they outgun them.
Okay, yeah, well, West Virginia they might not play some defense. That's true. I'll give you that one. All right, I'm trying to move through. I hate having to scroll. But hopefully the people won't hold it against me. Here is my sneaky, and they were talking about it in the chat earlier. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar has to go on the road inside the conference to play Hail State. Joe, Blake Shapen, they're 4-0 down there. And what do you think? Is Tennessee in trouble here? Is this danger zone time for Tennessee?
Everything in me wants to pick Mississippi State because my boy Derek Rogers goes to school, graduated from there, a good friend of mine, loves some State, and everything in me wants to pick Mississippi State, but I just cannot pick them in this game. I think Tennessee goes on the road and gets the win, and it kind of hurts me to say it, but I think they do.
All right, well, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and tell you right now that Aguilar is going on the road inside the conference. First point. Second point, I think that those cowbells are going to matter. It's weird going down there to play. It's hard to get in. It's hard to get out. I think that this is going to be something that they are waiting on, a chance to make another statement this year. Yeah, Hail State, baby. Give me Mississippi State to flip the apple cart on Saturday and destroy everything we think we know about the
Jay
SEC.
Bank is right there in the chat with you too. He's right there on it. But I would love to pick Mississippi State and watch it bite me in the butt because I'm not. But anyway.
Yep. Give me Hail State. I'm a believer. I'm going to let you show me Hail State.
Give me the ugly orange here as we get into October.
That's what I keep saying. Give me Mississippi State. Prove
I
it
got
to
a
me.
fever, and there's only one prescription. It's more cowbell.
It's more cowbell. If I were really a top tier producer that didn't have to do 20 other jobs, I would have had that sound drop. Yeah, I would have had that one right there. That would have been perfect. Okay, Joe. Oregon and Penn State. Penn State's in this game. Everybody seems to knee-jerk want to pick Oregon. I think I might have even done that the other night. But I've slept on it. You go first. Who you got? Oregon or Penn State?
Yeah, I'm not picking Penn State. Not gonna do it.
Joe's got the Ducks. I swore that I would not pick a James Franklin team because I just don't think they win the big ones. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pick Penn State to beat Oregon.
Enrique just pops in the chat with exactly what I was thinking. Just don't come out there. I have not, Enrique, in full transparency, I have not seen the new Oregon uniform. Anybody say? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen them.
Don't let it be terrible. Don't let it be all. Come on now.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It feels weird. I picked Oregon the other night in the rapid fire round. I slept on it. I just cross country trip, weird evening start time. They're going to be loud and crazy up there. Give me Penn State. And, we'll see what's up. All right. Now to the game in Athens. I'll be at the game, Joe. I'm not wussing out like Herb Street. I'm going to make a pick. So Alabama and Georgia.
I don't like Herb Street.
Well, let's not get down a rabbit trail. Alabama and Georgia, Joe. What you got, man? What you got?
I'm all in with my boy Gunnar Stockton. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, I said it the other day. I think Georgia gets the win over Bama. I don't remember what my score prediction was with Herb and Raj. I don't see them in the chat, but I think I even said what I thought the spread would be. But I don't remember what it was. I'm going to say it's at least 10 points, though. I think Georgia wins by at least 10.
All right. Everybody lean in, listen to what I'm about to say, because it's just, I got to say it. I said before the season started, I'm picking Alabama to win this game, and Georgia has to prove it to me. None of that's changed. I think Georgia still has to prove it to me. But when you talk about this game, as much as I have talked about this game this week, and it gets in your brain and it noodles around, and you learn things every day in life, Joe. One of the things I learned is that not only is Georgia riding a 33-game home winning streak under Kirby Smart,
they're turning on you in the chat. I'm just saying.
Not only is Georgia riding a 33-game home winning streak under Kirby Smart,
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
they have won 50 consecutive home games in regulation. 50 consecutive home games.
I know.
In regulation. Tell the fans. Tell the fans.
Last one they lost to?
In regulation.
Mm-hmm.
You said you knew. You said you
I
knew.
did know. But then Georgia Tech just popped in my head, but that wasn't in regulation.
It was.
Was it?
That's the last home game.
Okay, so that was what, 2016?
16. Kirby's first year. They won that game in regulation. That's the last home loss.
Anyway, yeah.
Georgia just don't lose at home. This Alabama team under Kalen DeBoer does not play well on the road. And I know what I said.
Jay Banks claiming you to the dark side, and Jeremy Nix is throwing tomatoes at you. Go on.
But right now, give me them dogs, baby.
Oh, there it is.
That's right. Give me the dogs. Oh. They are going to figure it out. Gunnar Stockton, gonna get it done. Gonna make enough plays. It's gonna be a fight. Dogs win. There
Jay
you go.
Bank, he just pulled the rug right out from under you, man. He grabbed you by an elephant trunk and drug you in, and then he pulled the rug right out from under you. Look at that.
I'm changing. I'm sorry, Antoine. I'm sorry. I know I picked the Alabama. I know. And I tried all week. I said that all week. I'm like, they gotta prove it. They gotta prove it. Give me Alabama to win. But by golly, I have talked myself slap into it. Give me the dogs as our pick here on the show.
There you go.
There you go.
Bruce Taylor's fired up. He's in the house. He's like, yeah, Gunnar gonna walk him. He's gonna walk him.
There we go. All right. Massachusetts and Missouri. Joe, do we care? I don't. No. Remember when Missouri went up there last year? They went to Massachusetts and they whipped them, and they're going to whip them tomorrow. Missouri, yeah.
Super chat. Look at that.
Nice. Oh, see, look at that.
And you're invited to the cookout. That's even better. Yeah,
there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, if you're tailgating, let me know. Y'all hit me up. Hit me up on the socials. DM me or something, because I am coming to Athens tomorrow. So if somebody's like, come to my tailgate, then maybe we can make that happen if I get there early enough. I would love to do that. That would be great. But
let me go ahead and since you said tailgate and we're talking about food, I'm throwing out the date for the 10-10 to go to the Whole Hog Barbecue, by the way, up in West
October
Tennessee.
10th.
I know that's just before the Auburn game, but who wants to go to see some Whole Hog Barbecue? Let's do the SEC Powers Hour in Tennessee.
Maybe we'll do that. The girls, I might be able to talk the girls into doing that. I might be, because I got to think, Joe, my baby girl is born on the 11th. I'm like, I can't go to Auburn. That's her day. So there you go. So I will pitch it. How's that? I will pitch it and see how it goes. Oh, God,
now I have not talked those shenanigans over with my wife, so I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm just thinking it's an open date for me. So.
All right. Well, we'll give it a look. All right. Kentucky and South Carolina. Another game, Joe, that I'm like low key super excited about for this game. Like, I think we talked about this last week. Vanderbilt made me right. They finally snapped that losing streak against South Carolina. Currently, South Carolina has a 3-game win streak over Kentucky. And they're in Columbia, Joe. And it's a night game. Williams-Brice is going to be hopping. They're going to have Space Odyssey playing. The chicken's going to be shaking the cage. All the things.
Big old rooster.
Give me them Wildcats. I want Kentucky to break the streak. Give me Kentucky.
Yeah, and oh God, if they wear the all white unis on the road, I'm all about it, right?
Ice. I think they're wearing their ice uniforms this Saturday. You can look them up. You can look them up.
I know the ice unis. I just don't. It's a hard one for me.
Lenore Sellers is still playing for South Carolina. It's not too late. They still got Dylan Stewart. So
let's see what the chat says for me. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Just phoning a friend. Chat, y'all got to help him out.
Kentucky, South Carolina. Somebody give me some words here in the chat because I'm torn.
I'm being bold. Shout out to my fellas at KFN. Tom, this one's for you, bro. You said they're going to get somebody they're not supposed to get. That's South Carolina. South Carolina's won 3 in a row. That's at night. All that stuff. I think this is the one where Kentucky gets somebody that people don't think they're going to get. Give me Kentucky.
Oh, Enrique says South Carolina, Kentucky sucks. 225 girls, South Carolina, and Jay Bake throwing in there some knowledge on Dabo Sweeney. Kentucky loses. Oh, everybody saying South Carolina in the chat. Give me South Carolina.
All right. Yeah, I'm out there on the limb all by myself. That's okay. I'm not scared. I can do it. I'm out there. Kentucky, you got South Carolina. All right. Are we through the list? I don't think we're through the list yet. Let me double check. Maybe. No, we're not. I may have flown past one of these picks, though. All right, here we go, Joe. BYU and Colorado. I put this one in here just for you because just because BYU is ranked. I'm like, we're going to let Joe pick this game.
Hey,
who you got, man?
Ain't no question. Give me the U, baby. I was talking about Ty Detmer this week anyway. It's like Beetlejuice. I conjured up some BYU love, and I'm going to stay with him, brother. Yeah.
All right. I'm fine with it. I will go with BYU as well. We'll make that happen. All right. I got to go in reverse here because I flew past one of these picks I wanted to get. So y'all hang in there with me. A couple of them, actually. Because I was like, that's not it. And I just kept it moving. But
that's not it.
But I went a little too fast. So sorry, y'all. So we got to get back up here and find it. But these are some games that are not necessarily on anybody else's radar, but we're going to pick them anyway. Joe, Tulane embarrassed me, disappointed me, did all those things last week, and now they're playing Tulsa. This is a revenge pick. Give me the Golden Hurricane against Tulane this week. I know that they're 2-2. Don't care. Give me the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, I'm taking Tulane. Yep, going to take the green wave on the road. Yep.
Okay. You have a little faith in them. You don't think they're going to roll over and disappear, huh? Because I was like, y'all made me mad. Y'all embarrassed me last week. So I'm not picking that one.
Did I pick them too? I don't know.
No, I took them and stole your thunder is what you said. So I saved you the embarrassment by being ridiculous. That's what I did.
I'll take that.
But that's okay. That's all right. So I am not seeing it for some reason, but I'm looking for.
There we go. FSU on the board.
Nice.
Thanks, Enrique. Appreciate that.
Well, Joe, I don't know that I can find it here on the screen, but the other game I wanted us to pick was App State and Boise State. Just simply because we hadn't picked an App State game yet this year. I thought, well, why not? But they do have to travel all the way out there to Idaho. So I think that's hard for those smaller schools to do. I don't know why I think it's harder, but in my brain, it makes it harder. So App State's on the road at Boise. There it is. App State, Boise State. Who you got?
Well, I hate the blue turf at Boise, so give me App State. And I'm going to choose the hometown team here. Give me App State.
You know what? I can't. They have orange in their uniform. So just because of that, give me App State too. We'll either be right or be wrong together. So there you go. So that's our picks, y'all. That was fun. I know we're keeping y'all here a lot longer tonight than maybe we usually do. Don't worry. We're going to skedaddle out the door here really soon. Get to watching these games.
There we go, FSU. Yeah. Come on back.
But before we do, we got to get to everybody's favorite segment, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe, I gave you a little rope this week. I let you pick your path. I didn't tell you what to talk about. So I'm really interested in how you're going to make this thing shake. Are you ready to get it done?
Absolutely. Teresa's bailing on me, though. Thanks, Teresa. I understand.
Have a good night, Teresa. I'm glad you've been in here with us. All right, let's do this thing.
All right. So, the question was, do we talk to old Pit Boss or do we talk to my man Kirby Smart? And I got nothing to say to Kirby. I think he's locked in. So I got to talk to old Pit Man. I talk to Pit Man, the Pit Boss. All right, let's be honest, Coach. I'm tired of shouting from the sidelines with you, but I'm not tired of fighting alongside you, okay? People who believe in something bigger than themselves, I'm okay with that. Today, that's not what I'm asking you to decide, Pippin. Not at all. Are we together or are we just sharing a bench? That's really the question that you got to ask the folks there in Arkansas when they're taking on the old Gold Dogs. I need to know. If we win today, great. But in my book, you're not winners unless you give everything that you got, okay? So you got to be all bought in here for Pittman, okay? You got to be all bought in, Arkansas. Value is not measured in wins or losses, guys. And just ask anybody that's looking to pull this chair up from under old Pittman to tell you that. It's measured in how you fight and to put up a fight for the teammates, okay? I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just asking you to be invested, Arkansas. Just be invested. I can't light a fire inside you, but I can tell you the best teams are self-motivated. So you got to go out there and do what you got to do, okay? What do you see out there? What can we do to improve? There's a lot. The next play, the next drill, the next game, it's yours against Notre Dame. Tell me what we need to do to get the fix in. That's all I'm asking. So Pittman, I'm just being honest with you. I'm not shouting at you. I'm shouting with you. Okay? Let's go out there and let's get it done. Let's get it done, guys. Believe in each other. Believe in yourself. Let's not be empathetic anymore. Let's not be pathetic anymore. Let's just go get it done. We're not just sharing the bitch. We're sharing the future of Pit Balls.
That's right, man. It's about more than the NIL. I like it, Joe. I like it. Harkening back, real coach speak. Here we go.
Real coach speak.
That's good stuff. Everybody, I hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Thanks again to Wyatt for coming on the show with us tonight, helping us squeeze the very last bit of information about this Georgia-Alabama game that you can squeeze out of something. We did it the night before. Tomorrow night, this time, it's going to be real loud, Joe. I know it's going to be real loud, right in my ear. It's going to be real loud, but we're going to get it done, dogs. Took me a little bit of time to get there. We're going to get it done. Georgia wins. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And, let's go, Kirby. Come on now.
All right. Well, I certainly do hope that we do get the dub tomorrow, and I certainly do hope that we can all get together and watch some whole hog barbecue up there on the 1010, and maybe my wife will not be opposed to that plan.
We'll see. Joe's flying without a net again. He's just like, hey, let's do this thing.
Let's go.
Yeah, well, it's more fun that way. All right, everybody, y'all take care of yourselves. Hydrate. Get ready. We got a long day tomorrow. Y'all hang in there and get things done. We will see you guys around the bend, hopefully celebrating them Bulldogs getting a big win tomorrow night against Alabama. Joe, we're out.